play 7 roles. I play one role. I play Lips, the Penza crime family's bodyguard. You know, everything the boss needs me to do, I'm there for him. You know, I gotta watch out for his family, I gotta watch out for his wife, his daughter, him. You don't wanna know. It's none of your business. I was a part of the reading last year with Amos Theater's Dare to Be Different festival, and I got really fortunate. I got in contact with Justin, and they needed an Asian guy that looked like he can take care of himself, you know. So they got me, unfortunately.
Oh, and as for me, I got involved with the show by going to an audition appointment. My manager submitted me. I went in. Oh, actually, my audition almost didn't happen because of some technical difficulties that day. But here I am. Yay! It is a lot of fun. Yeah.
Los Lopez, Zach Shaney.
And you play?
Sal Penza, mob boss, and father to Bernadette Penza.
She looks like she's a handful.
She is a handful, but I love her because she's my daughter.
I play Tito, her boyfriend, Bernadette's fiance. Yeah, it's official now.
You seem kind of controlling from what I've seen. Are you a good fiance or are you a bad fiance?
I just like things in order, you know. They gotta be run like I run it.
How did you meet Bernadette in the first place? Is this an arranged between mob family situation?
Well, no, I was actually loading trucks in Queens when I met Bernadette. But, you know, I caught her eye and then in the mob family, you know.
So you're glad to be in the family?
Oh, definitely. It's my calling.
And you think he's good son-in-law potential?
He would be a terrible son-in-law. Listen, I only put up with him because I know Bernadette loves him, and I put up with him, but personally, I think you should go back to Queens and load furniture trucks again.
What have you got against him?
He's a little rough with my little baby girl. She's my little petunia, and I love her. I don't want anybody treating her rough.
Except for you. She's daddy's girl.
I'm a doting father, and my credit card is wide open for her.
Oh, you're the kind of dad I would like to have too.
Well, good luck with that.
Oh, it looks like a lot of fun. Congratulations.
You're welcome, Hank. Thank you.
Thank you. Here we are with, okay.
Michael Murata.
Ari Raskin.
Michael Nazardinato.
So what parts do you all play?
I play Don Del Canto, an old aristocratic mob boss.
I play Brooklyn Girl, and I play Donna.
And I play Brooklyn Guy and Dino Del Canto, his son.
How do you befriend Romeo in the first place?
Well, so Brooklyn Guy and Brooklyn Girl, our characters in the first and last scene, are just attending a production of Romeo and Juliet, and I decided to kind of take the reins and retell it how I would like to see it done to cheer her up. So in the story that I'm telling, Dino, my new character, befriends Romeo because he runs into him on the streets of Verona, and Romeo saves his life, so I feel like I have to pay him back. And I was like, we're gonna adopt you to our family, come join our mob boss family. Well, it's you.
Oh, so it's all kind of a play within a play kind of thing. Oh.
It's 8 vibes to it, but in a more fantasy air to it.
Well, I'm sure it cheers you up because it was cheering me up. I was laughing my head off.
Yes, absolutely. It's really fun making the switch from being outside of the show to then being characters within the show. And, Brooklyn Girl's kind of uptight. She's on the stage. She's not really sure about it. And Donna, as Bernadette's friend, is just, she's the queen of the festival. That's a good way to describe her.
Yes, you were really kicking up your heels there.
Thank you. She's just so fun, and she's just a great character. I love playing her.
And so, how do you end up becoming like the mob boss of Dino? Dino, the father of Dino. So how do you get involved, pulled into the story?
Well, and no mob boss reveals those secrets. We become it because we're born into it, and we uphold the tradition. And I play the opposing mob boss to Bernadette's father, Sal Penza.
and I represent a different world than he does. He's more the Goomba from Brooklyn, and we're more the aristocratic old world mob bosses.
Oh, you're the kinder, gentler mob.
Well, I'll take that.
So, so what do you think about the music? It's so much fun to sing. It's gorgeous.
Oh, it's so... First of all, the melodies are so luscious, and everyone will recognize every single one of them because they're all based on classic Neapolitan love songs and ballads, and they've been rethought, repurposed, and rewritten with some really funny, smart, intelligent lyrics. And it's just a real feel-good musical.
Yeah, it's sort of that idea like of Romeo and Juliet, like that these melodies are just timeless, and we're just taking like a modern take on them, which is super fun, and they're funny, and they sound great, and it's just been a joy to sing through the show.
Yeah, the musical definitely transport you to 1960s, that era of, we have some jazz melodies, we have everything, but it's all based from these Italian derivatives. And,
Well, they shouldn't forget about this one.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Come see
much.
Romeo and Bernadette.
yes, thank you.
Thank you.
We are with.
Justin Ross Cohen.
You are.
I'm the director-choreographer of Romeo and Bernadette. And I'm Mark Saltzman. I'm the playwright lyricist of Romeo and Bernadette.
So how did you come up with this idea in the first place? It's brilliant.
Boy, it was so long ago. It was really reading Romeo and Juliet, and there was some Shakespeare critic who said that it starts as a comedy, Romeo and Juliet, and it moves as a comedy until Mercutio is killed, and then it starts turning dark. And I thought, oh, well, what if Mercutio wasn't killed? Like, what kind of comedy? Would that be Twelfth Night, or would that be As You Like It? And I just kind of followed that track, and then I wanted to modernize it, and that brought me to Italian gangsters in New York. And I'm from New York, and I have no mob ties, but I've seen enough of the movies, and I thought Goodfellas and Godfather were right for parody, so we're spoofing those kinds of movies in Romeo and Bernadette.
It's like you landed in David Runyon country.
He's an idol of mine, David Runyon, and in fact I was working with his stories last summer, adapting some of the lesser known stories, but yes, David Runyon combined with Martin Scorsese, and we have Romeo and Bernadette.
Yeah, I can't do Christmas without Lemon Drop Kid.
Oh, yeah, I know Lemon Drop Kid. That was a movie with Bob Hope. Yeah.
And you get to direct this fine show. Dance. So how do you blend Shakespearean dance with mob bosses dancing about?
By teaching them the steps, perfecting them, and then taking away all of the perfection and bringing in the character to it, so that hopefully when the audience is watching these mobsters dancing, they're not going, well, wait a second, how did they turn into Fred Astaire? That the choreography speaks to their characters, and it's that kind of movement. It's tough guy stuff, and the girls are gorgeous, and our dancers in the show are spectacular, and I've actually had to keep encouraging them to stop turning out as much and stop giving that beautiful line that they've been taught in their dance schools, because these two particular girls, Bernadette and her best friend Donna, are Brooklynites in the 1960s, and they're hot as can be, but they're not professional dancers. So it's about bringing the character to it and then letting them run wild.
That must be hard if you're a dancer and having to not dance. So that makes it even better. That's interesting.
It's not danced so well that it draws focus, and the audience thinks, wait a second, it doesn't make sense that those characters are dancing quite that way. Everybody dances. And so these girls dance, but with just maybe a little bit less technique.
Oh, well, so what do you want people to take away when we go see them?
I hope that people take away a lot of love in their heart. I get very sentimental. I'm a bit like that. The show has such a pure heart. It shows men how to respect women, and how to get what they want, and that it is not through aggression and having to be right, but with polite ease and mutual respect.
And you, when you wrote this, what do you want people to feel?
Oh, I want them to be affected by the music the way it affected me. It just sort of melts me and cheers me. I can put this on, these Italian songs on, and it just brightens my day. And there's a line in the show, let your beautiful music play. And if people do that, if people let their beautiful music play, we've accomplished something.
I think you have. It's going to be great. Thank you very much.
Judy McLean, I play Camille. Camille is, I say, a Lady Capulet a la Brooklyn mob wife. I love it. You know, I don't often get to play characters like this, so it's really fun to kind of dive into a character. I think it's a lot like Moonstruck, this show, so I'm taking some of my inspiration from Olympia Dukakis. He is a bit shorter. It's funny, right? Yeah, well, you know, he's passionate. I think I fall in love with him. Camille falls in love with him because he's got so much passion and heart, and he's kind of vibrant. So I think that's what attracts her to him. Yes, Lady Capulet. So it would be Juliet, really, right? So I'm kind of the mother of the bride.
So what do you think about all the drama going on?
You know, Camille's not a fan of it. Her roots are in Verona, which is a kind of a through line through the show. And in the end, you find out about it that she doesn't really love the life that she's living as a mob wife. It's very dangerous. She knows she wants something different for her daughter. She wants her daughter out of the business. She doesn't want her marrying into the business. She wants her to get her soon-to-be husband, Tito, that she does not marry, out of the business. So I think Camille is has a softer side. She doesn't necessarily love the mob life that she's living. How did I what? Well, you know, I actually ended up, this is really funny. I met the director, Justin, at a screening, no, it was actually a festival in Miami of a film that I had done called Were the World Mine. I met him years ago. We had a long conversation, and he remembered me from that and invited me to the reading when they did it back in Amos about a year ago. So it was through Were the World Mine, which is a film that I did, and it was in Miami, which is bizarre, right? You never know how things are going to come about. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. You know, I think in this climate we need some happiness, and we need some positivity, and we need some hope. So this show gives you all of that. It's very character-driven comedy. It's not just laughs for laughs. It comes from the real Brooklyn kind of sense of who the Brooklyn people are, which I love. Their earthiness, their realness, their loudness, all of that. So I think it's a good thing to make people happy. Yeah. You're so welcome.
Here we are with
KOSTAKIS.
NIKITA BURSHTEYN.
and you play.
I play the role of Bernadette.
I play Romeo.
So, what is it like? You're being Shakespearean in Brooklyn. Is that like, how do you maintain your Shakespearean sensibility?
Right. There was a lot of practice, iambic pentameters and blank verse, but it's such a fun, dynamic of 500 years. It's such differences from Renaissance and the 1960s. But we play with the blend of how would they respond versus how I would respond, and we create humor out of that. But I told everybody, I feel like I'm gonna mix between Enchanted, which is one of my favorite movies, and just like that James Marsden kind of dynamic. It's so much fun to play with, and especially such a talented cast and creative team, and the dynamic that I have between the music that I sing versus the music that everybody else sings. We really create that difference, and then blend the two together. It's so much fun.
And you're a Brooklyn girl. You're living in the here and now. And you meet this strange person. I mean, you're thinking like, what are you thinking?
Of course. Yeah, so, can I hold it? Bernadette meets Romeo on a family vacation in Verona, which she begrudgingly doesn't want to be at. So, among being in a foreign country, she's also meeting this weird guy who talks weird and speaks funny and acts so crazy. And she thinks she got rid of him then and there. And he just pops back up again in Brooklyn, which is even more out of sorts. And throughout the show, she's just fighting her plan that she has set for her life. And slowly but surely starts realizing, what true love is and where her path in life should really be taking her, and ends up making I think the right decision towards the end of the show, but you have to come see that to find out. I was planning on moving to New York anyways, just to be here and audition and follow my dreams, and I got this appointment for the show, and very luckily and gratefully got a call back and received the call a few hours later, and now we're here, and it's a great ride. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, I actually have a very this show kind of really goes kind of far back for me. Like about 8 months ago, I went in for a call for another show, and Eric Kripke, our amazing producer, he was sitting in the room, and he goes, we actually have this project coming up called Romeo and Bernadette, and you'd be great. You need to audition for that. And months pass, and I kind of forgot about the fact that he mentioned that story. And a few months ago, a friend of mine back from the West Coast, I'm from San Francisco Bay Area, which represent, and she told me, listen, I have a friend, Mark Saltzman, who is the writer of the show, is holding auditions for Romeo and Bernadette. And I go, wait a minute, I've heard someone say that title before. And lo and behold, I go in for it, and callback processes kept happening, and then we got it, and it happened, and we're here. But this whole project for me, honestly, has been kind of circulating around me at least in the past eight months at least, which is fascinating. It was fate.
I want people to take away the fact that no matter what you have planned for life, don't always stick to that. Think outside of the box and be open to new experiences and new people and new love, because what you think sometimes isn't always what is what's best for you, or what your true fate is in life. So just trust the journey and trust true love for the show. And I'm also speaking for life in general, because it's a great message what the show brings to audiences and relationships and just people, and the way that you should act towards one another and love each other, and it's a good show.
For me, Romeo is the embodiment of love, it's through the story that he tells, and for me, I think that's the key idea, is how strong love is, how universal it is, and how timeless it is, and no matter what century, generation you live in, and that and the main concept of that, that if you're in love, that to really utmost respect the person that you love, to cherish them, through the hard times, no matter how hard it might get, how difficult, true love prevails, and it's really just such a strong, human emotion that is just always going to be timeless, and believe in that, Yes, actually, on Valentine's Day, so bring your dates. First dates, second dates. Yeah.
50th anniversary, whatever it may be, come Valentine's Day, with or without someone, because you can be your own Valentine.
Right.
So.
Thank you.
Oh, here we are.
Steve Orich.
And you?
Hi,
music supervisor, orchestrator, and arranger for this show.
So I did not realize this was classic Italian songs from what century?
Right, these are all 18th century Italian art songs, which are the pop songs of the day. That's what they did, and then we have taken them and transformed them to make them work in this period. 1960s pop songs, 1960s Broadway, and 1960s swing to work appropriately.
How did you do that?
That's what I do. We just cut them up and make it work within the scenes.
And also, only four in the orchestra?
Yes, we try to make it sound as big as possible.
It does. It's incredible.
Glad you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
So how did you decide which instruments to use for what?
You know what? That's a secret. I really am not allowed to tell you. But no. You find the style of each section and you figure out which instrument to use. We have synthesizers that have different sounds that we combine them to make the right colors, the musical colors that we want to use.
Well, it's really fantastic.
Thank you so much. Tell all your friends, everyone, come see Romeo and Bernadette.
Thank you, we will.